Everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, that's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the Universal Energies Entertainment only. Absolute pleasure to have you along with me today. One thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about saving electricity yesterday, and I did put a note in my posts section, changing incandescent lights to LED makes a huge difference in the household electricity use as well. So what I want to have a look at, actually, even before I start, I'm just going to bring you down just in case she makes a quick break for it. There's Sneaks. That's my what do they call him? A tuxedo cat there. Real name is Cheeky, but Sneaks is more appropriate. Okay, what do I want to have a look at? I want to have a look at, well, I'm going to have a look at Social Security for you guys because I know there's a lot of concern there. Interestingly enough, a few things. Yes, NATO. Portugal was one of the founding members of NATO. I believe there were 4 founding members. And what I want to have a look at is I want to have a look at what Leon Muskrat is doing with Social Security. He came out very publicly during an interview to say that Social Security was a Ponzi scheme, that it was an entitlement, that it was a cancer on the US economy. Oh, all of that is just total BS. The Social Security in the US, you guys actually pay into, so it's like a pension plan, what we would probably call in Australia a defined benefits superannuation or a defined benefits pension plan. What happened is back in the Reagan days, and again with Bush #2, to fund their whatever they wanted to fund, both those Republican presidents and the party that and the Congress that they had at the time went and dipped their thieving little fingers quite significantly into Social Security. A big old honeypot it was, ripe for picking, and took trillions out between those 2 presidents that has never been put back. Now, on top of that, if the likes of supposedly the wealthiest man in the world actually paid any tax, um, it would fund Social Security in perpetuity. So, ah, okay. Couple of things I just wanted to point out that's happening with Leon Muskrat, in case you were interested. His trans daughter Vivian, now 20 years of age, born male but transitioned to female, has very publicly come out and said that her father, or her biological father, I wouldn't actually call her father, her biological father undertook sex selection IVF for his children, and basically that the sex of his children was a commodity bought and sold, and she feels that he had bought the wrong sex for her. So the fact that at 20 years of age, with all those younger siblings, she's coming out and saying that he conceives by IVF, I thought was rather interesting. One of my beautiful viewers also brought up May Musk, Leon's mother, and asked if there was a past life on her. I actually had a little quick of a looky there, and I believe she was Gertrude Schultz Kling. Now, if you have a look at Gertrude Schultz, SCHOLTZ hyphen KLINK, very high up in the Nazi regime during World War II. And boy, oh boy, you'd swear they were twins. They looked so alike if you look at the 2 images side by side. Okay, but let's get on. Social Security, I'm using the Golden Universal Tarot. I really do feel that Social Security is safe, but I'm saying that with a clenched fist because I really feel that there is, I'm feeling it is safe. We've got the Star card there. But we've also got the Emperor there who's eyeing it off and thinking, again, this tasty little honeypot full of money, thank you very much. I think it's safe, but I would not be surprised if there was hiccups, in other words, arriving late, missing a month, that will be eventually caught up. However, if it is found that you have been overpaid, yeah, I think the result is just going to have to be paid back. But forewarned is forearmed. So if you are expecting the worst, ergo a hiccup, and you might not get a fortnight or a month or whatever it is, you can take steps now to minimize the damage caused by that, by either, um, well, whatever means you can, by what means you can. Write down a list of everything, no matter how outlandish, just brainstorm everything and anything that you can do. So don't sit in the energy of I can't and worry and uh, um, feeling that you're powerless. Make a list of what you can do, and you'll find then you'll be able to let go of that feeling of powerlessness, because you will know that you have options available to you. Okay, so let's have a look using the Golden Universal Tarot. Let's have a look. What is going to happen to Social Security? Now, some of you said when I was talking about the budget the other day, a continuation or something instead of a contingency. However, there was a decree that came out that basically said you need to get rid of 800 million off. But let's have a look. Let's have a look. Show me what we need to know. What is going to happen with Social Security? There is always something you can do, no matter how powerless we may feel. Okay. Well, somebody's exposing himself, but this is also telling me that, yes, what I'm envisaging is correct. The sun is shining. Hey, look, we're coming into summer. Rip the clothes. Well, you guys are coming into summer. I'm going to winter. I'll be putting my jumper on in the next few weeks. Rip the clothes off and have a salad and not quite. But this is a big yes. Yes. And yes, things are going to, it's just going to expose everything. Denise Knight from Denise Knight Divination did a video on this that I watched this morning as well. And she also got similar in that it's just it's going to be just fully exposing of Leon and what he's doing. So my comment under that was, um, peasants will be revolting and bring their pitchforks, so they won't be happy. Yeah, the challenge to this, well, it could be the joy but it's telling me yes, a hiccup. The challenge is contemplating. Thank you. I wish my guys were chatty yesterday, and that's why I felt like I had to. They were telling me, but they were warning me beforehand, which is why I mentioned them before the videos. They're still chatty to me. I don't know whether you ever picked them up or not today, but that's neither here or there. What I am getting from this, it is about well, the challenge is contemplating this bushel of money and wondering how they can get at it. So yes, okay, yeah. Leon and his cronies are contemplating how they can harvest this untapped money. Fully expose what they're doing. So share that far and wide. There is a plan afoot. Contemplating a plan. There is a plan. They're trying to formulate a plan. It's not just within the United States. It's could also be about how do we get this money out of the US and over to our comrades overseas. Yeah, Bitcoin for that, anybody? Did a reading on that last week, I think. Yeah, they're trying to work out how they can do this. Two of Wands for me, it's about a crossroads and it is about a plan. In the past, the World card, something coming to a completion and then some doors shutting and new doors opening. So what do we need to know about this threat to Social Security from Phelon, if we want to call them that, Phelon, Leon. Yeah, it's a completion of a cycle. It's in the past. It's the opening of doors. Okay, thank you. I'm getting this was the appointment of, I'm going to call him Phelon. How about that? Phelon. I've got Felon 45, but I might just stick to Phelon. Yeah, doors shutting and doors opening in the past. Okay. This is very possibly the oath taking on the 20th of January. I won't call it the inauguration word because we know he didn't win. Crowning this reading, it is a nightmare situation for so many of you. And I completely understand that when you open your bank account and you maybe have, $87.45 in there and your Social Security's supposed to go in there in another 3 days' time, and you don't know whether it's going to go in or not, or quite what. Absolutely, it's a nightmare situation. I totally understand that. That's why I'm saying make these lists of what you can do. Is there anything you can sell? Can you uh, uh, get some food from a, a pantry or a church or um, look up the resources in your area that can help you out. Can you contact, if you're renting, your landlord or your bank, or if you've got a mortgage, and say, look, this might be happening. What do you need me to do? It's one of those, if you give a heads up, um, if you give a heads up to particular parties and let them know, look, this is what may be happening. I know that I owe, but we need to work through this, they're more likely to be lenient as well. So, absolute nightmare situation, but make the lists of who you need to contact, what resources you can plug into your area. Do you need to start a food co-op where you buy food in bulk, or whatever it is? Take proactive steps and take back the power. And it may never need to be enacted, but at least by knowing that there is steps that you can take, it does relieve some of this stress in this nightmare situation. The immediate future: loss, disappointment, heartbreak, emotional loss and disappointment. However, there's two cups still standing that are not being looked at. This is a need to consider other options. If there is a hiccup, if there is some sort of loss that happens here. Susan Lynn's mentioned quite a few really good ones. An example might be if you're finding that your medication is now no longer covered by Medicaid or Medicare, start a GoFundMe with a target of whatever the cost of the medication is per month to cover that. And if you get more than that, pass it forward to somebody else who needs help. Just putting that out there. Um, Externally, yeah, it's all about money. So there might be news that comes out in regards to Social Security payments. This is about messages that are brought forward, but it's also about opportunities that are brought forward as well to perhaps look at things differently or consider other options. It is a page, so it is minor. So there might be some minor news that comes out in regards to Social Security internally. Yeah, we've got the crusty old oligarchs sitting there hanging on to their Bitcoin. Big coin, not Bitcoin, big coin. Yeah, what it's all of. Oh, goodness, I just. Ugh. Anyhow, hopes and fears, circles of support, plugging into your community, tapping into those who are supportive. It doesn't need to be family. I'm always reminded of the quote that's often misquoted is the blood of the covenant. In other words, your friends and family that you choose to be your friends and family is thicker than the water of the womb. So the network that you plug into may not be family, but what they may be as well. But it's basically coming together as community and having each other's back. You know, somebody might be short $10 and you have an extra $10, something along those lines. This is about paying forward rather than expecting to be returned. Courage and strength, absolutely. Courage and strength will get you through this. Compassion, empathy, as the light has been shone on the path forward. We've got I was going to say the Emperor, but my guys just said, no, this is about taking control. Look, 3 major arcana. This is a huge outcome. So this may be having to explore a different path forward, going within, introspection. So hermits are about introspection, investigation. There's a few other eyes, and I'm just trying to remember what they are. They're the main two for me. Isolation. But he's not isolated. This hermit, he's shining a light to find what may be an alternative path forward and take control. Emperor's about taking control. Take control because we are at a judgment moment, a collective awakening, call to arms. Boy, oh boy, the Vets March on Friday. I'll have a look at that and see how safe it is shortly. But yeah, this is a real wake up call for those that are still lying in their sealed coffins, thinking it's all hunky dory for them. One of my lovely viewers mentioned that they had not an Uber driver, a Lyft driver of colour, a black Lyft driver, who picked them up in the US and was spouting how wonderful Felon 45 was. Well, he's going to have a wake up call fairly shortly. I mean, if he's working as a Lyft driver, I wouldn't say his income was probably terribly high. I think he might be getting a real wake up call before too much longer. And this is what is required to bring about the change in attitude. Right. However, we do have the money plans behind the scenes with the Three of Pentacles, the plotting behind the scenes, where you've got the two wealthy figures here plotting what to do, in regards to money for the person that's actually doing the work. They're going to have a rethink about this. I think it's not going to go down well. They're going to have a serious rethink about this. And then we've got change coming. So I can just re-emphasize, yeah, they are planning, absolutely. However, they've shown their hand that this is what they're planning on doing. And people keep saying, well, when is not Social Security, but yeah, those that think they're all, safe and secure and can make these decisions are going to find themselves in a serious having to defend their position because this doesn't affect them at all. Mind you, the biggest drain on government welfare is Phelon with his government contracts. So he's the biggest welfare whore there is at all, completely. Now, if you're wondering about Phelon in the future, I keep seeing he'll lose his government contracts. I keep getting that the Department of Defence, when it's recovered from the current regime, will seize control of the star satellite system. That's me avoiding the censors. And the Tesla board will toss them off, and X will just become a nothing. It'll just become a cesspool of spewing hatred, basically. So none of it's going to work out well for him going forward. Oh, and Starlink, yeah, will be absorbed into NASA. Not Starlink, SpaceX will be absorbed into NASA. Okay, let's have a look. Yes, and I did see that card at the bottom. The king being trampled underfoot and a new beginning. So let's have a look. But there is going to be this hiccup before things are brought to an end. I'm just going to say that. So let's have a look. Social Security. Social Security going forward. Social Security going forward. Okay, thank you. I just got told that there will be, once what's happening is this current regime is bringing everything to a head and it's collapsing, and there's just going to have to be a massive from the ground up rebuild of so many of these systems. And I'm not talking computer wise, I'm talking about how they operate, including elections, including Congress with the House and the Senate and money thereof in Congress. But what I'm really getting, what I just got told was that future governments will pay back the money that was removed. Now that it's in full public awareness, it will become, I'm getting that it'll become part of the budget that this has to be paid back. I can always get that the tax system will be sorted out as well, but I'm getting that they'll have to pay back. I'll just have a quick look. Yeah. Actions having consequences, but a return to balance, maybe some legal ruling here. Where the money is going to have to be returned. This defending in the middle. What's this defending in the middle? Harsh truth coming forward. Decisions need to be made. Look at these swords cards. A lot of legal action here. Being forced to, I think being forced to beg forgiveness is what I'm getting from that card. May even be that the people bring forward and I'm talking about we the people as part of the Constitution, bring forward some sort of legal action. Is that what's going to happen to force government to repay? Now, remembering that all government money comes from taxes in one form or another. They work for you. You pay them. So the repaying will need to come from taxes. However, if things were taxed fairly, in other words, felon 45 pays more than $715 in tax. Okay, what have I got? Looking at things from a different point of view. Okay. Some sort of significant ending here of the manipulation. Heartbreak, loss, despair, but also treason. So this is part of this breaking down. And then we've got looking at this from a different point of view, an unexpected out of left field decision about, I'm going to say, returning the money. And this is going to be a new path to bring a rebalancing of Social Security. Where I had my finger was the Ace of Swords, and it's a damn yes, absolutely damn yes for the voters. Yeah, I do see. A class action, that's what I was after, but it's like almost every person within the United States or everybody that has ever put into Social Security bringing forward this class action. So let's have a look. Show me the future. Show me the future of Social Security. Yeah, a manifestation of financial protection. Show me the future of Social Security. I'm just going to bring you up slightly because, oh, she's behind the chair. Oh, I can't see her. That's neat. She does make an appearance every now and again. Okay, show me the future of Social Security. And you're going to stop there. Okay. The future is going back to the simplicity of the past, but also the gift from the past, the gift of being this Social Security protection. And as I said, it's not a welfare system. It's what we in Australia would call a defined benefits system, where you pay in over your lifespan, and when you retire, you then get paid a pension out of it. That's what it is. In Australia, our pension, our welfare system is different. It is means tested, and then in other words, and you don't have to have paid into it. It is purely a welfare system. Social Security isn't. So the signifier here is the intention and the gift of Social Security in the past is at the foundation. Yeah, we've got this. Wake up, people. If anything, this is what is really going to tip the balance. And boy, oh boy, people are going to come with their pitchforks and their torches. Absolutely. This is a really significant do not cross line. In the past, we've got that world card again. And look at the top there. You've got a certain somebody, although he doesn't have that much hair nowadays, facing off against the American eagle. Yeah, and a powerful legal case here to protect the money. Externally, you've got this crusty old decrepit oligarchs that want to get their hands on it. Internally, you've got this abuse of power, this trying to steal. However, no matter how bruised and battered it's going to get, you've got the wand still standing up here, this guy in the front here with his determined to defend. So the guardrails of Social Security will stand. Right, the outcome. The smoke and mirrors and delusion. There's going to be, it's almost like going to take the wool off people's eyes about what Social Security is. Strength and compassion. Plan coming to fruition. A ruling being made. Celebration and support. And we've got the tower moment here. Tower moment, moving on from this tower moment, and protection, financial protection with the Queen there as well. An offer being made, and the Sun card, and a big announcement coming. So I think what's going to happen is that Social Security, you might find, will be somehow revamped. but it's not bad. It's not going to be bad. Right, we've got a truth being brought forward, or potentially a whistleblower, or felon whistleblowing on himself, on the hidden agenda, the contracts and agreements that were made in regards to mercenary actions, the planning for those that, think it belongs to them or would like to get their hands on it. The plan out of left field is going to expose the treason betrayal of those that were involved. The moral, financial, ethical corruption of this, of stealing the money and putting people out in the cold, as they contemplate how they can put their grubby little mitts on it, is coming to a ending. And here is a ruling, might be Supreme Court make a ruling on it, tells them to back off. And there's going to be restriction for those that are just doing this evil. Yep, okay. So, do not be surprised if there is a hiccup in the payments and then it has to go through perhaps the court system up to the Supreme Court with a basically rule, get your grubby mitts off it and give it back. So all I can say is if you're pre-warned and you know this is a potential, it may not happen to you, but it might happen to your neighbour. But if you're pre-warned, you can have some safeguards in place. So please, please, please look after yourselves, look after your community, look after your neighbours, look after your covenant, whether they be friends or family, and take care. And this is going to bring them out into the streets. Okay, love to you all. Take care.